I'm back. Road rants on Terminator Dark Fate. The fallout has reached epic proportions. Tim Miller is now throwing James Cameron under the failure bus and rolling over him. David Ellison, too. Before we get to that, drums, please. Yes, sir. Tim Miller is speaking out. A while back, James Cameron said something about blood against the walls, etc., over disagreements on the film. Now, Tim Miller has spoken to The Hollywood Reporter and the business host, Kim Masters. Miller tells Masters he, quote, has no plans to work with James Cameron again, and that desire is due to the wish to retain control of his own films. Of the failure of Dark Fate, Miller says, quote, I'm sure we could write a book on why it didn't work. I'm still not sure and I'm processing, but I'm very proud of the film. The things critics seem to hate most about the movie were things I can't control. I can't control like Genesis, or you felt betrayed by Terminator 4, and I can't help that. Homie, I love Terminator Salvation. So don't mix up this piece of shit with Terminator Salvation, okay? Miller confirms there were creative battles on the film between him, Cameron, and Skydance's Dave Ellison. Even though Jim is producer and David Ellison is a producer, they technically have final cut and ultimate power. My name is still on it as a director, even though I'm going to lose the fight. I still feel this obligation to fight because that is what the director is supposed to do. Fight for the movie. Early in development, one such disagreement was with the future beyond the film's contemporary narrative. Cameron wanted the humans to be winning the war against Legion, while Miller wanted them to be losing. Legion is so powerful, the only way to beat it is going back in time and strangle it in the crib, recalls Miller. Quote, Jim says, what's dramatic about the humans losing? And I said, well, what's dramatic about the humans winning? They just need to keep on winning? Question mark. I like a last stand. It's not his thing. Miller says control is everything to him as a director. One reason he opted to not return for Deadpool 2. In the wake of Dark Fate, he says, quote, I don't want to be in a situation again where I don't have control on what to do. Okay, so look, guys, I'm not going to give Tim Miller any credit here. But at the same time, he just told us James Cameron and David Ellison had final cut, final say over the movie. If that is true, if that is really true, and we'll see if James Cameron says anything, then look, I hold a lot of responsibility on Cameron for having killed John Connor. Look, homie, it's your property. You got final cut. You can veto the death of John Connor, and you chose not to. And that's one of the main complaints with the movie. Danny Ramos was a weak part of this movie, okay? And it felt like you literally pushed aside John Connor, who everybody looks at in a Luke Skywalker kind of manner as a hero, okay? People have said on various comments on Terminator videos that, well, Cameron's not the one that pushed the story along, blah, blah, blah. It was all about John Connor, okay? Even the first movie was really and truly the driving force was what would become John Connor, okay? And look, James Cameron should have stopped that shit. I'm starting to think James Cameron was the one that wanted to kill John Connor. Who wanted to do it? If David Ellison and James Cameron have final say, why didn't they stop it? That said, Tim Miller's a complete tool for all of this I am woman, hear me roar bullshit that he threw in the movie. Now, Mackenzie Davis was, in my opinion, the best thing about the film. She was awesome as that super soldier. She got the shit kicked out of her in that movie, and she kept fighting. She's a badass female character. Danny Ramos was completely not viable. I didn't buy her one bit as the future leader of the resistance and what would become, quote unquote, the new John Connor. No, you can cancel that. Cancel Danny Ramos right there. I'm out on that. It didn't work. Now, take the same movie, put John Connor as a grown adult. Miller said a while back that they had a story written where John Connor would have been thrust back into battle while living a normal life, like working in an office and everything. And all of a sudden, oh shit, I'm having to face down Terminators and I'm freaking out because it's been 20 years since I've even thought about this stuff. And I was a kid and blah, blah, blah. What an awesome dynamic that would have been in this movie. And Tim Miller's punk ass thought that was uninteresting. Kiss my ass, homie. No way. You're ridiculous, right? People will watch this and be like, Rhodes, you're triggered. I'm off the chain is what I'm off right now, okay? Look, it was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and it was arrowed to the mother. Bam! It was a hot mess. Hot garbage is what it was. Let's get Jon Favreau to do a damn Terminator movie at this point. I don't know why we couldn't have gotten a sequel to Salvation. I love Salvation. It is what it is. Peace of